Hi, I'm Chris Burdick, CPA, creator of EasyBooks by Chris, and thank you for purchasing the EasyBooks by Chris Small Business Bookkeeping and Tax Workbook. I created this for small businesses and freelancers to help bookkeeping and simplify tax season. Let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Easy Books by Chris, the bookkeeping and tax prep workbook tutorial. In this video, I'm going to go through the full walkthrough of the entire file. What my plan is to take some sample transactions that I've created here, and I'm going to enter them into the file and walk through what it looks like, how it's affected, how it updates. I'm starting with just a blank file here. So this is exactly what you have on your end after the purchase. You can see, I'm sure you see in yours, um, everything everything in this file runs off of the settings and transactions tabs, which I've mentioned in the past. But here, everything is blank, everything zero, everything. Okay. So just like I said in the quick start guide walkthrough, this is your place to start, right? So probably the easiest way for me to get this going is just to get going. So the first step I'm going to do, starting here on the quick start guide, is I'm going to update the settings, right? So settings tab, you can see we only want to highlight the shaded. It's not very complicated. Um, but this is key. Your reporting start date, the first thing you want to enter is the first date of your fiscal year, right? So with this, in this example, we're going to be a calendar year entity. So we would start with 1/1/2026. Okay. And then you can see certain things update based just off of that alone. Um, and then the second thing you want to do is enter the company name. I'm going to put Easy Books by Chris just for the example, but you can put whatever you'd like. This controls a lot of the headers and the titles of certain tabs within the workbook. So I'm going to put Easy Books by Chris, and you can see Easy Books by Chris pops up there now on certain. The header is controlled by this company name. Business owners added in there. This is just strictly informational. This is more if you need to sign your name to the workbook. I'm going to put mine in here right now. And then tax date, and this controls all of the tax rate information based on the state that you are going to be filing your taxes in. Okay, so there's a drop down, contains all of the 50 states. Again, if I haven't expressed this workbook is based on U.S. tax. So this workbook currently does not work for any international customers. Hopefully, in the future, there will be something more specific for international customers. Um, so I'm going to just, for an example, put Florida in there. I'm not actually in Florida, but so when you can see, Florida is a zero tax state, a zero income tax state. So you'll see the state reserve is 0% there. So that goes for all of these. All of the states are specific based on uh, estimated 2026 tax rates. None of this is set in stone, so just keep all that in mind. For what I'm doing, I'm going to switch back to my home state, which is North Carolina. So you can see here now that changes to the 4%. And then that's it for the settings. Settings are fairly simple. I've done my best to keep this spreadsheet as simple as possible. I have a bad habit of trying to overcomplicate things. So you're welcome. But uh, so I try to keep this as simple as possible. This is one of the two tabs that you really need to focus on as the customer. So we'll switch over now. In fact, let me show you. We can go over here. These are actually checkboxes, so you can check that off, the update settings. And now the second step is enter your transactions. Okay, so you can see that these transactions are blank, and so what you want to do, and really I would recommend doing this on a weekly basis at least. I'm kind of a crazy person when it comes to my finances, so I would enter this daily. But again, that is something that can be left up to you. You can do it whenever, however frequent you would like. Okay, so for this, I have created just some sample transactions, just some random dates from each month. So some random transactions from random months, and then you can see these are already in the format that we need for this. I mean, this is very important that this is how the whole workbook works. So this is not something that can be compromised. This needs to be exactly this format. But I was going to mention that these are in. This is semi mimicking what a bank account CSV would look like. It's definitely not exactly what it would be like. So my next project, and that'll be coming up soon, is I'm going to release a data cleaner, which would take whatever your CSV, your bank CSV looks like, and it would transform it into this simplified format. So that way you could just basically pop your CSV that you download from your bank into the data cleaner, and then it would pop out this, which you could then just copy and paste into this. All right, so I think that will make life much easier for you. I will keep everybody updated on when that's going to happen as we go along. And let me shoot back over to this and show you. If you guys have purchased and you have not signed up, sign up here to get on the email list. That's where I'll be giving a bunch of free updates and just tips in general. Once I get your email address and the email listing, I'm going to be sending out little reminders, tax reminders, just helpful items that will help remind you of certain things, certain tax dates and stuff like that. So this would be very beneficial for you. Also, I wanted to say that if you have any questions regarding anything, please email me at this email address, or you can message me on Etsy where you bought the file from. So anyway, let's get back to it. All right, so let's go back to the transactions tab. All right, so this is set up. This is basically the brain of the entire file. So what we can do here, I'm going to do this just to start. I'm going to take all of these first 4 columns and just a little piece of advice. And again, I'm going to do a transaction walkthrough one too, so I'm going to try to not go too deep into this, but I would copy. If you're copy and pasting into this, I would make sure that you select your data, right click, paste value, just to ensure that there is no copying over any formulas. There shouldn't be, but sometimes Excel is funny when you copy in something from another workbook. If there's a formula on the other workbook, it'll copy it in here. It'll just mess things up. So copy, paste value, that is the way to go. Okay, so this is a good example of the first check that you have on this transactions tab. You'll see this cell here, you have 54 incomplete transactions. This is designed to make sure you don't miss anything. So if one of the lines in these rows is filled out and there's blank ones in the same row, it'll error this out. It'll show you'll get this here, and you'll see. I mean, all of this is filled in with this red color. But I did that just to show you. Okay, so the first thing, this column E, transaction type, is very important as well. There's only 4 transaction types to choose from. It's pretty easy. Income, if that's revenue, um, expenditures going out. Owner contribution, so you put some money in of your own that is not revenue related, that would be an owner contribution. And if you took money out, that would be an owner draw. So fairly simple. And then the same idea here with the category, right? So this is what controls your monthly P&L and then some of your dashboard features. You want to choose what this is. I mean, you can see in the description over here, meals purchase. So this is going to be meals. And then I think the amount, you just type it in. I believe that's 95. And once you fill that whole thing out, that row unread, so that one's good. Let's go back to here. And just to speed things up, I'm going to go ahead and just copy all this stuff in. Again, I'm doing copy, paste value, right? And you can see here, now that all the rows are complete, it says all transaction rows are complete. So once you have that, you have formatted this correctly. So then, now that you have all these transactions in, you'll see that your dashboard updates automatically. So you can see these again are the 2 year-to-date ones, right? So these here are going to give you all your information based revenue and expenses based on each month as you go through, and you can see the green's expenses and the bluish revenues. This is also just a monthly trend. Sometimes this helps to just get a visual representation. I mean, you can already see February there was a negative net profit, so that is something you probably want to address. Same with October. But again, this is just, these are just sample transactions. So let's switch over to like March. Go October. So this is, but let me find one that is actual profit. Okay, so you can see here, this is December. I mean, this is for the month of December, right? So this isn't year to date. This is specifically for the month of December. But you can see your revenues, expenses, net profits, tax reserve. Something I didn't show in the quick guide walkthrough is this percentage. So this will tell you based on the last month or the last reporting period. So if this was current, I mean, if this was a quarter, it would show you the last, compared to the prior quarter, what the percentage change was. So revenue, this was up 100% prior period, probably because there was very little. There was about $3,000 of revenue in November and about 6,000. So in December. But anyway, so this is kind of a cool feature. You can kind of glance at this as you go along. You know, they're up 245% in net profit. That's a pretty good month for December. Not abnormal for retailers. And then this is your tax reserve the um, for the state. I mean, for the month of December. So so that's what the dashboard looks like after you get these transactions in. Again, this will all flow. You know, if you go, this is the monthly P&L, and if you enter your transactions as the month goes along, excuse me, as the year goes along, you know, it'll start here and just fill forward. You know, it won't be a big lump sum of transactions all at once like I've done here, but you know, then this will, you know, you can follow your net profit um, as the year goes along, or net loss in a couple of these months cases. Um, Tax Estimator, again, same situation, feeds off of the transactions, um, and this will tell you, you know, if this is a running total for the year of how much you should save um, for your annual taxes. And again, it's just an estimate, but I think it'll help. It's a good guide. If you do about this amount, you shouldn't have to. I mean, if you set about this amount aside, you shouldn't have to pay much more than that. And again, this is for Schedule C businesses. There's other different types of businesses. You know, you got your S corps, your C corps. Those are totally different, and so again, those are on the list of uh, of workbooks that I'm going to put together. But this is the very first one, so I will be getting to those. The most helpful will be the S corp for most of the audience that's listening to this. I mean, if I will just say this is a small piece of tax advice. If you are a sole proprietor and you do a Schedule C, you really should form a one person LLC and be taxed as an S corp. Anyway, that is a small piece of advice that does benefit you at tax time. But I digress. Let's keep going. And again, this another annual snapshot. This is what your Schedule C would look like, and this will tell you exactly how much you need to save. And again, these are all check marks here. Same with these over here. So anyway, I think that about covers it. Again, feel free, if you're going through this, if you have any issues, email me at chris.burdickcpa@gmail.com. Also, I don't have any social set up yet for EasyBooks. That is on my list of to-dos. But so the email address is probably the best way to get in touch with me, or through the Etsy shop. Anyway, I hope this was beneficial for you, and I will see you in my next video, which will be a more detailed transactions tutorial. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.